Alright guys, this is a review of the TLR Titanium Screw set for the 10 SCTE from Losi. This is for part number TLR 4003. About $100 out there. You can find it for, probably mid to low 90s if you really try. That's a lot of money for what you got to do and what you really get. So let me tell you guys what's included, what's not, so you know if you really want to buy it. Now keep in mind, this is a full titanium screw set for the truck. Now if you've made any modifications or added parts that changed out hardware, that's not going to be included, which I will point out here on my truck. The other thing is that even though it says it's a full titanium screw set, there's obviously some missing items on here that you would think would be included, but really aren't. So let's show you guys a couple of weights first, and we'll go from there, and we'll see if it's really worth it at the very end. So go ahead and set up my little scale here for grams. Keep in mind everything will be in grams as I've done in the past. Now, when I first weighed in all the screws, kind of hard, I can't weigh them in now because they're already on the truck. It was 68 grams for all the titanium screws. Now there's a little baggie here, and these are all the ones I didn't use, and I'll show you specifically why I didn't use them, and I probably will in the future. So let's weigh this in first, and we'll have a total what I added to the vehicle, and it looks like it's right about 9 grams that I didn't use. 68 grams in total makes it about 59 grams of added titanium weight to the truck. So that's the first bag. Second bag, this is all of the screws I pulled off the truck. So all the steel, and there's some heft to this, believe me. Let's weigh this in. And this weighs in right about 101 grams. So overall savings of about 42 grams that I pulled off the truck. Now the good thing about it is I pulled it off all over. It's not like I pulled off, 20 ounces or 20 grams from the front and 10 from the back and 10 from the middle. It's 40 all over the truck, which is good for weight bias. So now let's go into what's included and what's not. Obviously a lot of the screws are included. Don't get me wrong here. There's a few that they missed, and let me point those out. The other thing is there's no instructions with this, so pretty much all you're doing is you're pulling a screw out, finding the replacement in the titanium set, and putting that screw back in. Keep in mind thread lock if you're going metal to metal. So let's show you guys some of the screws and some that weren't included. And the nice thing about this is it kind of gives that gunmetal gray coloring to it, which obviously isn't worth $100, but it does give a good look to the truck. So as far as the bottom of the chassis, and forgive me, I haven't cleaned it yet, but pretty much all of the screws now use a 3/32 hole. Before, it was a mixture of 5/64s and 3/32 and all sorts of things. So now, pretty much all the ones that were 5/64s, those are all now 3/32. Bigger screw hole means, you can put a little bit more torque on it and, kind of get those screws in a little bit easier. So that's a good thing about it. So let's go on to ones that weren't included, that were kind of obvious. Nothing for the servo was included. So both the one that connects right here and also on that servo arm. Those I believe are 1/16 screws that were not included. Another kind of obvious one, and these are somewhat heavy, is, let's see if we can get this in here, but basically these guys right here that control on or go onto your steering link, those were not included, and those are pretty thick because they ride kind of on a bushing. Other ones that were not included were these little body mount ones right here for the body posts were not included, and that was about it. Some other things that I changed on the vehicle was I put the torque rod on. It did not include the torque rod screw, which, it's not TLR's fault, but you know what? It's a TLR part. Why not just include that one screw? The other thing that I noticed is that you have to do a lot of modification to some of the screws that they did include, including some of the ones that went on the front, rear, and center diff. They're all basically the same size off the kit, but for some reason TLR included longer screws for some of them, so I did have to cut down about 4 of those screws, which, you know, cutting titanium isn't the easiest thing in the world, but was able to do it pretty easily with a Dremel. The other thing with the upper, or the front chassis brace, I do have the aluminum one, and I did have to cut that screw down. I had to cut down all the screws on the center diff for the top plate. Even with the stock one, I had to cut those down. So not sure what they were thinking there. As far as screws that I did not put on, I just rebuilt my diffs, so they do include all those pain-in-the-ass diff screws, those little 1/16 inch things here, and I'll try and show you guys one of them right there. They do include all 12 of those, 4 for each diff, which that's kind of cool. The other ones I did not replace were the ones that held the diff casing together, because once again I didn't pull the diffs apart. I just wasn't feeling to put all that in. So there will be a little bit more weight savings. How much? Right now I'm at 42 grams of weight savings for the screw kit, which TLR, they say that it's about 2.2 ounces of savings if you replace everything. Right now I'm about 1.5 ounces. Not quite that 2.2 claimed. So all in all, I think the screw kit is worth it. It's good weight savings because it's all over the vehicle. It's not like it's, you know, like I said, a bunch in the front, a little in the back, and then it gives you issues with your weight bias. So that is a good thing. The price, that's a lot of money. So you make the decision, see if it's worth it for you guys. If you have any questions about specific areas, throw it down below. If you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.